No, I really like that. I think CommentForce has become our weekly therapy for you and I. It's our therapeutic friendship as we work out our differences and embellish our strengths together on air for the world to see.
We don't have that many differences, man.
No, I know. We both. Well, I mean, you think you like Zelda more, I like Mario more. Someone made a great comment that you were wearing like this dark like skull shirt last time, and I was wearing this bright teddy bear shirt, and that was just so perfect.
I've never worn a skull shirt.
Well, maybe they thought it was. It was some dark shirt, and I had like on a light shirt. And they're like, it just embodies the yin and the yang, the differences in personality. What's going on, everyone? This is a sneak peek behind the scenes of what we talk about before the recording start. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend and doing great. We're gonna get right into it. CommentForce, our weekly show where we take your comments, your questions, and then we comment and question on them. So we're gonna kick it off right away. Oh, hit that like button if you guys enjoy it. It does help. YouTube seems to not really like some of our stuff, so we would love it if you would like some of our stuff to help us out. Man, it's a weird world behind the scenes, but Jacob Fisher comes in with the first comment. I love you guys, by the way. We all know Nintendo has a handful of modestly / less successful franchises, Metroid, F-Zero, Earthbound, Golden Sun, that have been snubbed for a long time or gotten pretty disappointing recent entries. If you, Gabe, could snap your fingers Thanos style and make one of those series into a massive success instantly, which would it be?
Metroid.
Just like Jacob, he picked Metroid as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's more my style. Like, F-Zero is like cool, but I don't remember having fond times with F-Zero. Golden Sun was like really great, but we have a lot of games that are Golden Sun-esque these days.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of JRPGs. Like, yeah. But Metroid, I still feel we don't have so much, like, yeah, we have more mature shooters, but not a Nintendo shooter. So, yeah, I mean, Metroid seems to be the obvious. That's not so mature. It's very,
okay. All right.
Very vibrant, very friendly. Not a ton of story in that, like there is in.
Some might say it's the most mature. When you mature past mature, then you return back to youth.
Okay.
It's therapy. I like your answer. Metroid is great. I want to pick Mario Strikers, but I don't know if that's. Do you think that's a modest franchise?
It's a French fries.
French fries?
You said French fries.
French fries.
No. I mean, modest. We don't get a lot of them. Like, I don't know if that's what he means.
I think he just means that they like people like. There's a lot of love for Metroid, but they don't sell.
They don't sell at all
as well as something like an Animal Crossing or a.
They don't sell anywhere near as well as Strikers.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah. I here. This is kind of an off the wall pick, but I would have loved to see ARMS be incredibly successful just because it would encourage Nintendo to take more risks. That's really the only like ballsy IP we've gotten this generation, and I loved it for that.
I was talking to a mutual friend of ours recently about Nintendo, and he was asking me. He says like, "Hey, like is there anything cool coming up? Like how like Splatoon was like cool with the Wii U and now it's a new franchise. I know they tried with ARMS." My answer for that was like they seem to like doing it once per full-on generation. Every new console, like they seem to like trying something. The Wii U,
one shot.
Yeah, the Wii U gave us Splatoon, right? And now it's a big franchise for them. The Switch gave us ARMS, and that's not going to be a big franchise for them, unfortunately. But they seem to try stuff. It's just, yeah, it's once per generation. I forget where that train of thought came from, but I think you were saying like something.
ARMS. Yeah, I wish ARMS.
Yeah.
I think those are. Yeah, I mean. I think Metroid Prime, its sales are going to be very interesting. Like, does the Switch's success propel Metroid to the stratosphere for the first time?
Well, it depends on what you mean by the stratosphere. If the stratosphere is like 5 million plus, absolutely.
10 double-digit millions.
10's a lot. 10 is a lot.
It's not a lot on the Switch.
I can easily see Metroid Prime 4 some 10 million.
Yeah,
easily.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Let's go to Melissa Medina.
Hi, Melissa.
Interesting question about pricing. And, we've had a lot of discussion on that with Skyward Sword. So we'll get your take here, Gabe. I got a re-release Game of the Year edition of Spider-Man for the PS4 for $20. I can understand why people will be upset to rebuy old Zelda games at the full $60 price point. That being said, I don't mind rebuying a game full price if there's considerable new content. I got the Bowser's Fury game and I'm loving it. So far, I feel like it's a full game, not just some mini game thrown in there to get people to buy it. So the question becomes, Gabe, do you think Skyward Sword is going to get additional content like Bowser's Fury to support that $60 price?
It'd be nice. And Nintendo always adds something, right? Like for every re-release that they've done on Switch, they've added something. So I would like to say yes. Shift a little bit, please. Yeah, thank you. But a little bit, something new. But you know,
it's just the size. Like I think the Bowser's Fury scope is like not happening. No chance.
No. I think we would know about that. But yeah, I mean, what form that takes, who knows? You know, it could be like, you know, how we had the master mode or whatever. Could we see something like that? Possibly, I guess. I would bet that we do see something new. It's just nowhere near the scope. And the one thing I will say about Skyward Sword, and a lot of people know this, like, it's not a short game. That's still like a 40-hour plus game. Yeah. So if we look at it in that way, I know a lot of people don't like looking at it that way, like pure like hours to dollar value. Like the value is still there. But yeah, you can go get it cheaper, but then you got to bring your way out of, you know, wherever you have it in the crevices of your closet. And then it's not an HD. It becomes tricky. I mean, I can see why people would complain.
Counsel me if I'm crazy here, but I feel like the graphical style also plays a part. Like making Bowser's Fury, like, are they really going to dip back into the Skyward Sword art style from the Wii and like make new content that looks like that? I don't know. It just feels... I could see them reworking content, but like to say, oh, they're going to have like a bonus dungeon.
Well, the problem with Skyward Sword isn't that it needs more content; it's that it needs less.
Can we get a supercut episode of it?
Yeah, well, no, I feel like part of the reason why people can't get into Skyward Sword is because the beginning of that game is rough.
They literally can't get into it because it won't let them.
No, the game lets it, like you just gotta keep pushing along. But yeah. The beginning of that game isn't the best beginning in a Zelda game for a game about the beginning, right? It's right. You know,
I think we'll get something like you said, like some sort of like harder mode or whatever, but it's not called Skyward Sword plus, you know, whoever's Fury. It's just Skyward Sword, so that implies that whatever content there is going to be a check mark on the back of the box at best.
I know you and I are like a little bit different, but I'm gonna ask just like you specifically and personally, like. Did you buy Skyward Sword first of all?
On Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, and I know you didn't finish it, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So Skyward Sword comes out, you purchase it for $60, and you play it, and you like really like it, right? And you finish it, and you're like, hey, that was like really good. Do you even like think twice about the fact that you paid $60 again?
No.
Right? Like, and I don't know if you and I are just weird in that way, but I don't think twice about it. But also, before people say anything, I don't have like you and I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's fine. I get more games than you, and like that's totally fine. And I understand that games are a luxury and a big expense.
Yeah. That's what I don't get as many luxury items as you do, which is fine.
But is it?
I'm still not burned by it, is what I'm saying.
I guess it's like some people are looking at it like it's an old game. So even if they haven't played it, it's like, oh, this should be cheaper because games of that era are you know, much cheaper on eBay and other places. But they are making it HD. They are bringing it to play on the Switch. If you haven't played it, you pay $60, you enjoy it. Do you still feel burned? I think that's a very valid line of thinking and one that makes perfect sense to me.
I might be a bozo for saying this. But all those people that are like, oh, I could just play it on my Wii for cheaper. Like, you have that option. Like, go ahead.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, no one is saying like, hey, like, don't do it. Like, if you want to go get it at GameStop or eBay or your cousin's house, you know, for free or $10, it doesn't matter. Like, you have that option still.
Well, and I think the only part that bothers me about it is like, this isn't new. The Switch has existed for 4 years, and every single Wii U or, you know, every single port that they've done has been 60. So I'm not. Like, heck, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze saw a price increase. So this is not unprecedented. This is exactly what they do every time.
That's
if you love the game and it's a fun Zelda, like, it's a fun Zelda. It's not that old. It's not like they're charging 60 for Majora's Mask.
It's a decade still.
Yeah, it's the second most recent Zelda game.
Yeah, I mean.
Right? It is look, Skyward Sword is to Mario 3D, or Skyward Sword is to Zelda as Mario 3D World is to Mario in terms of like dating.
Yeah, like releases. Like, I don't know about
Yes.
date. I don't know about dates because, you know, one is a Wii U game and one's a Wii game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but as far as releases, I understand, but I will say as an advocate for Skyward Sword, even I had no idea that people didn't like this game. On Metacritic, it still has a 93. And I see a lot of the same press that gave it 9s back in the day now say it's not a good Zelda game, so I don't know what they were on back then. But a little bit of Nintendo.
They're on trying to just feed the hive mind. They just say what wants to be heard.
No, but it is a good Zelda game. It is. It's not this bad game that people are saying it is, but you know,
I don't think any of them are bad, but let's move on to Rob Kaijin, who says, I say this, Mario Kart 9 with user-generated content. Builder Mario, let us build our own Mario Kart courses and share them with friends around the world. And I want to evolve his comment and do a question about Mario Kart 9 and just ask, would you want user-generated content in Mario Kart 9? And either way, what are you hoping to get most out of a new Mario Kart on Switch?
I cannot find the words to say how little I would want that. Like I would despise it with the fiery passion of a Mario Fireball. No, man, I don't want user-generated content. Like,
Nintendo's courses are so perfect.
Yeah, like they're creative, like they're masters of designing, not us.
Sandbox style anything has just never appealed to me in video games as much as witnessing the artwork of a actual professional. And I know that differs from most of the game playing audience, especially nowadays. But yeah, I mean, if it was I guess here's the deal. As soon as you start shifting the game in that direction, it changes the whole look of the game. It changes the whole feel of the game, and it inevitably changes how far Nintendo can go. And I'd rather Nintendo curate their own list of tracks. What I want most out of the game, and I think it's obvious, is just a beefy roster. I just want this to be the Mario Kart Ultimate of Mario Kart, borrowing from Smash and bringing in a bunch of Nintendo characters and friends. But like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's tracks, that's the best tracks we've ever had. So I just let Nintendo do their thing. Let's not try to mess with it at all.
And you know, it doesn't fit so much in a kart racer, right? Like not Mod Nation Racers is something that comes to mind. And like that was fine, but I mean, unless they dramatically change like the type of user generated like content like we can do, because like keep in mind these are pretty intricate levels. Like are like would they give us that type of freedom to do courses that have like secret like side areas that shortcuts, excuse me, that have like shortcuts? Like are they gonna allow you to like put like all the items like perfectly? Are they gonna allow you to there's gonna be new mechanics too, I'm assuming.
Well, and the courses there are so beautifully designed in terms of like its theme, the people watching the course, the elements they have on the side, the elements within the course. Like it's all so intricately and so detailed and well themed. Like you just lose so much by making it user generated. I will say, Rob, if you want to make your own Mario Kart courses, go play Mario Kart Home Circuit, because they did give you Mario Kart where you get to make your own courses.
I was gonna say, yeah, go play that.
Do you think Mario Kart 9 hits this year?
No.
Hot take, no?
No. I don't know how hot of a take it is, but no.
I think there's got to be a big holiday game.
I'm sure there will be.
I feel like it's going to be Mario Kart 9. Dirk Schneider coming in with the sarcasm, Gabe. And so we gotta put on our hats and
I have one.
Work our way through this. Wow, is it true? Could Nintendo actually make a console next year that is more powerful than that of last gen? Amazing. How do they do it? And this is in reference to the rumors/leaks that the Switch Pro is going to have the power of a PS4. And it gets poo-pooed because it's like, oh, PS4 is so old. But like, honestly, having Nintendo quality games at the graphics of last gen, like that's a big deal to me.
Only Nintendo could get away with this. I mean, which is fine.
It's also a portable system. Nothing has ever looked this good portably.
We think. I mean, we don't. I mean, we know nothing. We don't know what this thing's gonna be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm saying if this is to be true, is it true, Dirk? If it is true, then it.
No, but I don't care about
the power.
Yeah, like it's a Nintendo console. I have a PC if I want to like play like and we are privileged in that manner that we have the options, right? There's a PS5 behind me if I want to play like super next gen stuff.
Gabe doesn't get luxury items as he sits in front of his highly coveted PlayStation 5 console.
Oh my god. No. But and he said I don't get as many luxury items. Yeah, but you know, PS4 power is fine, but I think it still will be a little cooler because the DLSS stuff that PS4 doesn't do that so much.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, the Switch seems to be doing just fine, and at least with Nintendo's games, the graphics are never the complaint.
Am I crazy for like thinking of the Switch like a 3DS at this point? Like, I know it's not. I know it's still like a home console, but
that's a great point. But like, how much? What's your split TV play?
50-50 at this point. Yeah, I've been playing Bowser's Fury all handheld now because I have a Pro Controller drift, and like I don't like playing with the Joy-Con. Like I have like 4 grips somewhere. I just saw them the other day. You know, we were talking about. So
you're still playing with the Joy-Con?
Yeah, I'm playing with the Joy-Con, but it's in my hand. More again, at that point in my head, it's just a 3DS or DS, and there's no 3D. But
I think for me, I'm like 70% TV, 30% handheld. At least this as of late this year, but I don't know. To me, that's enough power that they're going to keep themselves relevant with third parties, and that's really all you need. Like it'll be the best that Nintendo's ever looked. And frankly, like how many amazing games are looking phenomenal on next gen right now? 0. So
no, that's not true.
Currently this month.
This month. I don't
0. So I mean, I get it. Like Nintendo has always lagged behind, and they will now be a full generation behind. But
forever.
Yeah.
I think that sticks around in perpetuity forever.
Let me ask you this: in a perfect world where Nintendo has the same power, like, does that move the needle at all? Do you think all of a sudden the Switch becomes better, or no?
Wait, if it's equal power?
Yeah, if all of a sudden Switch Pro is PS5 power, does the Switch Pro then become, or the Switch as a whole, if the Switch is the same power as these other consoles versus what it has now, does that in any way actually elevate the Switch, or do we just feel better that we're getting the best graphics?
I think it's a very like hard question to answer because a couple of things. Are they using Blu-ray discs? They have to, I guess. So I mean, let's pretend they are just for funsies. Yeah.
Right, small ones, mini discs, UMDs, UBDs.
I think there's value in people wanting to take it portably if they are still getting the same graphical fidelity. So I think there is value in that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also think there's value in people wanting to play with their friends. And, so many people, like, they have their friends on PS5 and they all have PS5. And even though everything's crossplay now, like, that's just what they do. So there's still that section of gamers. But, I think it'll make a dent for sure if it was to just be on par. But, this is all for naught because it's never going to be the case.
I guess what it would do is it would
third party is the only thing.
Yeah, it would allow you to then get in on Outriders and.
Oh, I definitely want to be out. I want to be in on Outriders. I do. I'm not joking. I can look.
You don't want to be out on Outriders? All right. Master Kagato says, and Gabe, this is your topic. I hate to say it, but Animal Crossing is probably winding down at this point. Other than Brewster in his cafe and maybe some cameo, that's pretty much it. There's so much in the game at this point, thanks to past updates. I doubt Nintendo is going to keep it up since they need to reserve ideas and features for the next entry. And what I want to discuss here is I had a contentious conversation with another YouTuber recently about the Animal Crossing being over, basically, no more updates. And I want to ask you, as not a big Animal Crossing fan, but as a game connoisseur, how do you feel about this idea of Nintendo having what is ostensibly a games as a service game, but it was a $60 game, and how they have handled updates and how they'll handle them going forward?
First of all, just to adjust the thing what the other person said, I think it's like a little bit silly to see a game sell 30+ million copies and expect the support to like be over. Like that's just not smart business. And Nintendo's, if anything, they're just good at business sometimes.
They're good at money.
Yeah. So no, I think any game that sells 30 million units is going to have more updates and some like sizable stuff. And I wonder if maybe it caught Nintendo off guard. Like they weren't ready for like, again, Animal Crossing has sold well in the past, but they were on like handheld stuff with like 100 million, install base.
Right.
So I feel like they definitely were not ready for 30 million out the gate with this. They could not have predicted this. So I wonder if they got knocked back on their feet a little bit and they're like, okay, we have something here. Let's push out these small updates. But I do feel at some point they're going to want to sell something. Like something. I don't know what
and the counterpoint to what you're saying is like, oh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold almost 30 million.
Yes, but that's not a new game though.
Right. And then you look at something like Odyssey and say, okay, well, that didn't sell. To me, the slight difference is that AC is probably a 1 game per generation thing. So unless they plan on doing a spin-off, to me, it would be insane for them not to try to push updates or sell features. And I know that you're not selling season passes, you're not selling battle passes, this isn't Fortnite, but when you do have a game that, you know, yes, every new player has experienced it for the first time, but to keep that community relevant, to keep that community big, to keep other companies engaged, to have, you know, oh, the NFL making Animal Crossing Islands, and oh, Gucci making Animal Crossing Island, like it's only in Nintendo's monetary interest to keep this thing relevant, and so I feel they absolutely will do that, at least for the foreseeable future. Maybe not 2-3 years down the line, but right now, yeah, I don't think there's any way that's.
Well, what was the second part? There was a second part to the question that I wanted to address. I just don't.
Oh, you know, basically, are they reserving ideas for the next game?
For the next Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
I don't even think the next Animal Crossing is on their mind right now.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that these games are so repeatable that it's just the same. It's the same ideas every time, so there's not really much to reserve. I mean, it's like Pokemon. It's like it's the same experience.
Like the blueprint's the same. It's just it's built out of maybe better materials. You know, the next time around is what I would say.
I do think that Nintendo, given the success of this, like it's always a case of like, wow, there's so much hypothetical amazingness they could create, and that does bum me on. That does bug me and does confuse me. Like, hey, they could do so much, and they only like, you know, get to 20 or 30% of that. That I'll never understand, but I don't think they're done by any stretch.
Just to piggyback once more into the conversation I had with our friend, he was saying that like it seems like Nintendo just doesn't care to push. That they have, you know, arguably, and I would say that this is just definitely not arguably, the most iconic video game characters in the world, right? Mario, Link with Zelda. And they're not doing stuff like that where I'm flip-flopping all over the place. One of the things that was asked to me is like, why is there no multiplayer in Pokemon? I said, wait, there is. And they're like, no, that's not what I mean. I mean where you and your trainer can just like run from one gym to like the next, like the full thing. Why isn't it just multiplayer?
Right.
Like,
Co-op, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. That's just not Nintendo's way. And they're like, yeah, but why? And like that stuff never quite makes sense. So I will say that sometimes Nintendo zags when they're supposed to zig, or when we think they might zig, they'll zag, but that's just inherently them. Like that's in their DNA to just do things differently.
I do want to give like some slight credit, which is that they are moving more in that direction. It comes at a very slow pace, but like, look, hey, Mario has a theme park now, and Mario next year is getting a movie. And I feel that as time progresses and as the Japanese branch slowly, you know, evolves,
and go, like they gotta like let go a little bit. Let Nintendo America let them have a little bit more of a say. And I feel like it's coming. It's definitely it's a thing now.
We're in the right direction. Region free with Switch. They've taken more risks and chances. There's more.
The thing is, it's so slow. That's like I guess that's the thing. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of something that's not slow, Joel B says the one big glaring problem with Bowser's Fury is Bowser's Fury. It doesn't add anything exciting to the game. If anything, and he's talking about Bowser appearing, it's an annoyance every time it triggers, especially with it being randomized. Would have preferred a different approach. Maybe trigger it when Mario loses his upgrade, then it's a fight to stay alive. As is, it's just a temporary distraction to the level that doesn't have much purpose besides breaking some blocks in certain places. And I want to ask you, now that we've both spent a ton of time with the game, how do you feel specifically about Fury Bowser?
I think in the beginning, I would have echoed more his sentiment, but now it's not that hard to just like evade him for a little bit, or like, because most of the time I'm already in progress of getting Cat Shine, and I could just keep going, get the Cat Shine, and you know, his life goes down a little bit, and you know, he'll leave. Like it was annoying in the beginning, but once I grew accustomed to it, and I don't know how much time. What's his name?
Joel.
I don't know how long Joel's been playing for, but maybe if he hasn't played that much, as he continues to, I think he gets used to it a little bit. But I can see his point, and it's a valid point for sure. I'm just past that, like that. So I mean,
I feel the opposite. I feel like it has become an annoyance only after beating the game and going for 100%, because then you're just trying to shine hunt. And it's like, oh gosh, here comes Fury Bowser. The hard part is he's necessary for some shines, and so you can't just like erase him. You can't say, oh, he's not going to be here. And it's part of the gimmick of the game is that he brings in difficulty.
But then just don't put those shines in.
But I mean, that's the whole gimmick of the game. I guess to me, their idea of having a massive boss character that impacts and affects the world in Mario was a really great idea. I think if they were going to use it again in the future, it should just be tuned to be more of a set piece and less of a constant threat.
Yeah,
I do find it after beating him where there's no longer like, because before you hit 50 shines, he's there as like this threat. You need to beat him. Oh my gosh, how many times I have to fight him? What's the final battle going to be like? Once you see that through, then it's like, okay, now he's just on this timer, and it's like, it feels like this Jack in the Box keeps popping. You're like, sit down, Jack. Like I've already heard your song. Like we've already been through this.
I will say though, I feel like part of what allowed Bowser's Fury to be so different and be so loved, because I think it's almost universally like people really like it.
For sure.
I think part of that is that they were able to experiment like this, and they would not have been able to do this with a full Mario game. So they just, I want to say tacked it on, but that almost sounds like bad. Like they added it onto a pre-existing game, right, to up the value, and they were able to experiment a little bit. Now, did it go like perfectly? I mean, probably not. Like you're saying, once you like beat him at the end, it'd be nice if, he just wasn't around.
Took a nap, yeah.
Yeah, and all the ones, maybe one of the solutions could have been every cat shine that was like locked behind something he needed to break. It's just there now. Like go get
it. Just pops. Yeah, he's gone, so his barriers are gone. Yeah, that's a great idea. Look at you, game dev.
Yeah, maybe like that's what I would have done, but yeah, again, I think this is a successful experiment, but I also think that we got to look at it as an experiment because I feel like it's clearly that's what that was.
I do think there's a chance it pays dividends in like the next Mario though.
Skyward, during the Skyward Sword section of the direct, Anuma was saying like, with Breath of the Wild, we had some of the newer gameplay mechanics like the glider and all that. Like it was already in Skyward Sword, so it introduced a lot of that. And like I feel like that's what Bowser's Fury is gonna do. Like some of the mechanics, and not so much items, but the mechanics that were there are maybe going to be used in future games to a different extent, and maybe they do like perfect it or maybe iterate on it. I mean, perfection's like hard to accomplish.
I think where it's just going, and Mario Odyssey clearly started this, and Bowser's Fury takes it even a step further, and maybe the next game even further than that is
more open, like just one area, just big area. It's open. Yeah.
Level takes on so much less meaning. There's no real definition between the start and the end of a level. It's just kind of a Mario world, which is pretty perfect. Michael Wadsworth, with my favorite comment of the week, says, "You mean you aren't supposed to eat the tea bag? Man, am I embarrassed." There's not really a question here. I just thought this was great. Thank you for commenting on my quirks. A lot of people ask like, why the tea? Why the mugs?
Can I? This is CommentForce. I feel like I can fill him in on some like. Little, I tell Zach every time because I edit it. Most of the time, I tell him, Zach, just pretend to be drinking. You don't actually have to drink anything.
It has to be in there. No, dude, I want to get the real takes of the
guys,
sips, the swallows.
Yo, guys! Oh my, dude! I forgot to text you about this. I was editing the last one. And you take so many sips.
It's because I want. No, when I say the next line, I want it to look like I actually just took a sip.
Dude, it's especially on when you mess up. Like you give me a clap or something, you'll take a sip and then you put it down, and like I see you thinking, and then you're like, I'm like, Zach, stop.
Because I have to take a sip, so it looks.
Dude, I yelled. I said, Zach, stop drinking the dang tea. It was so weird, guys. I'm trying to help him, but he won't listen.
Man, I like it. There's never coffee; it's always tea. I'm trying to keep it real with you, and I don't know. I feel like tea fits my personality. It's sweet. It's nice. It's still classy.
It does, but you're drinking way too much of it.
One cup a day, man. Goosebump says, anyone who wasn't absolutely stoked about Splatoon 3 needs to get slapped with a paintbrush. And so this is your opportunity, Gabe, to give us your take on Nintendo. Splatoon basically evolving into one of their main franchises, and the best take I saw on this, I love this take, was someone posted a picture of the Nintendo Tokyo Store logo, and they said these are now Nintendo's 4 main characters. And it was Mario, Link, Villager from Animal Crossing, and an Inkling from Splatoon, and that to me is just so revealing.
I mean, you don't sell close to 15 million copies. And not make it amazing. It did really well. I actually reinstalled it just the other day, so I'm gonna start playing the game again a little bit.
I never beat the Octo expansion.
I love it, man. It's so great.
I gotta do that.
Yeah, like it's such a good game, and there's some. And I'm gonna get back to Splatoon. I'll answer your question, but there's something about Nintendo, man, that every time like one of these like directs happened, like I was like, wait, do I have a Wii near me? Like, can I play Skyward Sword right now? Like, just like seeing it, even though I know an HD version is coming in a few months, like Nintendo games just like bring it out of me. Like I just go reinstall Splatoon, or I'll want to play Skyward Sword, even if it not even the beginning, because that's so boring. But like I wish I could jump into the middle of Skyward Sword.
That's like one of my like hardest things with gaming. Like it's such a weird quirk, but like when I hear a new game in the franchise coming out, I want to go back and play the last one, but then I also don't want to sully the experience in the new one, because I know if I get like Splatoon overload, the next one's not gonna be as exciting. So I always wait for like
it's next year, dude. You will not get Splatoon overload in March.
I guess right now, but I'm saying like the Skyward Sword, or So anyways, your take on Splatoon 3?
Phenomenal. Like, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it was with Splatoon 2 or the original. Like you were trying to tell me like Gyro's the way to go. I was like, no, man, Gyro's dumb. Man. I love Gyro now, by the way. But you know that when the switch flipped to be like, okay, Gyro is good. Like that's when it like clicked. I went back and I played the single player stuff, which I hadn't done at that time because it was just a multiplayer game for us. And you know, fell in love with that. Played a lot of multiplayer, played many more hours than you even, and you already like really loved it. And then the Octo expansion came out, and that was like so creative. It was a great way to do DLC for that game, on top of all the Splatfest. And you know that's one of the things that I regret the most. I wish I would have participated in them a little bit more. I maybe did like 2 or 3, and you know that's such a fun way to keep the community together.
Especially that condiment Splatfest.
Whatever. All that to say that I'm crazy hyped for Splatoon 3. I hope that they have, you know, a bunch of changes that we haven't seen, other than like, hey, like it's like a wasteland, and yes, like, hey, you know, the Eiffel Tower's like upside down, like what's going on there. So I hope they get into that a little bit. I love the lore of Splatoon, so I hope that that's something that they also just like lean into. But I want to see new weapons. I want to see more different level design, not just new maps, but like design them a little bit different. We know like verticality seems to be something that they're going to push this time, but we've seen verticality before in Splatoon. So it's all about them just trying to make it different enough. I don't want this to be Splatoon 2.5, and I don't believe it will be. I think it's going to be really great. Yeah,
but that's something that I feel like gets like overlooked, is like people are like, oh, another Splatoon. It'll have been 5 years. It's a long time between games. As
long as they add maybe one new mechanic like that changes stuff enough, like a class-based system would be really good. Where there's like certain like power-ups and stuff like that. I'm not even talking like heroes. I'm not saying turn it into a hero shooter, but you know, a class-based system would be neat. And you know, different guns on top of the already like fan favorite ones.
Yeah, they confirmed crossbows, but bringing even more would be good. One just extra thing to point out, you know, Splatoon is based around, you spoke of lore, an environmental apocalypse, and I wonder if like the upside down Eiffel Tower is like some shot at like the Paris climate accords, and like the fact that the US was out of that for a while and now back into it, and like
I mean, who knows? But what I will say is I hope that right now, as they are developing this, they know what the DLC is going to be. Like an Octo expansion, like I don't want to say Octo Expansion 2 because I would like for it to be different, but something like that that's like sizable and cool and kind of stands on its own. Do that again. Like have that ready, man. I'm hyped.
You know what horrible vibes I got? Like I thought the trailer was amazing. I'm so excited for the game, but you know what game? A Microsoft exclusive that we saw at E3 a couple of years ago. Well, like 5 years ago at this point.
Oh, to say a couple Microsoft exclusives. Oh no!
A game in the desert.
Yeah, no, dude, that game Recore. That is that is made by a Mega Man creator.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Recore?
Yeah, no, don't do that again. Don't do that again.
I really like Splatoon 3. I'm so excited. I wish it was this year. I heard it got shifted out because of COVID. We're gonna end with Los Pollos Hermanos, who's talking to Mario. You know, it's legit.
Hey, you know where that's from?
No.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, your 2 of your favorite things, your heritage and your favorite show, man.
Wait, my heritage,
coming together.
My heritage is not one of my favorite things. What's wrong with you? All right, so what's the question?
There's no question. It's just what he just said. When you're talking to a lookalike Mario, you know it's legit, and that's what gives the show credence. Yeah. Do you think it's me?
I'm thinking of cutting the beard. Like the beard's kind of like getting.
Yeah, it's good. It's getting up there.
Getting there, man.
Do you like? Do you like? Even with me, with my limited facial hair, like when I feel like I look so drastically different. For you, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, I'm a different human.
I look homeless. like
now
I'm
or when you shave?
No, now.
Okay.
I'm aware, but I tell my girlfriend every day, like, yo, I'm so sorry I look homeless. She's like, you do. She's like, you gotta like cut it, trim it, something. I'm like, I will at some point. It's just, I don't know.
Letting it go.
Yeah, I mean,
Gabe we'll shave it when Breath of the Wild 2 gets a date.
No, that's not true. By next week, it'll probably be way shorter than that.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, that'll do it for another fantastic episode of CommentForce. Hopefully this was therapeutic and fun for you for this weekend. This week we've got Bravely Default 2. We've got Persona 5 Strikers. And we've got, as far as the leakers say, a Pokemon Direct. So a lot to talk about next week. Make sure to check back in on Saturday. Thank you for all your comments. Keep those coming on every video, including this one. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Check out Gabe's channel. Link in the description down below. He's been posting daily, I think. Or near close to daily.
Yeah, I think I did 4 videos this week, which is not daily, but that's about as much output as I want.
Yeah, that's good output. Just that's respectable. Put some respect on your name, Mr. Mario lookalike.
Yeah.
Gabriella Mario.
Yeah, I can't wait to, I have a Wario hat somewhere. I'm gonna show up at that next week.
Sounds good. Until that time, everybody, have a great one. Make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying smart, staying warm out there. And until next time, for myself and Gabe, SwitchForce out.